What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the future. The survival genre for a while now has been dominated by a few key formulas, but the 10 games on this list, they are throwing out the rulebook. We're talking about games that blend genres we've never seen mixed before, games that push graphical fidelity to the absolute limit, and games with concepts so out there, you just have to see them to believe them. This isn't just a list, it's a roadmap to your next great gaming obsession. So buckle up because we're exploring 10 new open-world survival games coming in 2025 and 2026 that are set to blow our minds. Let's start with one that redefines speed. Let's kick things off at 100 miles an hour with Exiled. If you've ever thought survival games are a bit too slow, a bit too much chopping down trees and not enough stylishly annihilating giant robots, then this is for you. Developed by Enigmatrix and built on Unreal Engine 5, Exiled is less survival in the traditional sense and more surviving with absolute style. It's a third-person shooter fused with a character action hack and slash. Think of the kinetic energy of Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, but set within a sprawling, vertical sci-fi world on the brink of collapse. You play as Alter, exploring these colossal, ever-shifting structures called the Talos Towers that have emerged from the sea. What really gets me excited here is the combat philosophy. It's not just about pointing and shooting, it's about creating a symphony of destruction with guns, blades, and abilities. And this isn't some small indie project. It's part of the PlayStation China Hero Project, a Sony initiative that has been backing some incredibly ambitious and polished games. Dropping in 2025 on PS5 and PC, Exiled is poised to be a visually stunning, adrenaline-fueled start to this new era of survival action. Alright, from the soaring heights of futuristic towers, let's plunge into the crushing, terrifying depths of the ocean with our second title, Sirens. Now this is a brilliant twist on the underwater horror theme. In most games like Subnautica, you're the vulnerable human, desperately trying not to become fish food. But in Sirens, the tables are turned. You are the apex predator. You play as a deadly siren, a mythological hunter of the abyss. This isn't about hiding, it's about hunting. Published by MindMind Studio, yes, the developers behind the notoriously grim game Agony, you can expect this to be dark, brutal, and visually arresting. It's an Unreal Engine 5 action-adventure where you'll be using a suite of abilities like hydrokinesis, melee strikes, and ranged attacks to take down the most dangerous creatures in the sea. It explores a forgotten mermaid civilization, adding a layer of lore and mystery to the hunt. If they can nail the feel of 3D underwater combat, which is notoriously difficult to get right, Sirens could be one of the most unique and empowering horror action experiences when it surfaces on PC in 2026. Speaking of being hunted by terrifying predators, let's talk about a game that taps into a primal fear that's been baked into our DNA since childhood. At number 3, it's the long-awaited, heart-stopping The Lost Wild. Let me be clear, this is not Ark or Tuarok. You are not a superhero taming dinosaurs. This is Alien Isolation with velociraptors. The developers have been very specific. The Lost Wild is a survival horror game first and foremost. The dinosaurs are not monsters to be slain. They are intelligent, terrifying animals to be outsmarted. Your arsenal consists of non-lethal deterrence and your own wits. The core gameplay loop is about evasion, intimidation, and discovery as you navigate these overgrown research labs, trying to piece together what went wrong. The dinosaur AI is designed to be adaptive and unpredictable, making every encounter a unique, pants-wettingly tense puzzle. Built in Unreal Engine 5, the jungle looks dense and terrifyingly alive. For anyone who watched Jurassic Park as a kid and had nightmares about the kitchen scene, this game, coming in late 2025 or 2026, is basically that nightmare made interactive, and I am so here for it. If genetically engineered dinosaurs are a bit too modern for you, how about we strip away everything, technology, civilization, all of it, and go back 40,000 years? For the survival purists among us, we have Paleolith. This is the ultimate test. Paleolith is a hardcore survival simulator that aims for brutal realism. There are no sci-fi gimmicks, no supernatural threats. It is just you, a lone human, against the unforgiving wilderness of prehistoric Europe during the Paleolithic era. you'll be managing complex health factors like disease, broken bones, and hypothermia. The dynamic weather and seasonal cycles will force you to adapt or die. Hunting is a patient, tactical affair, using stealth and camouflage, not a run-and-gun shootout. Building a shelter is a desperate necessity, not just a creative outlet. This is a game that wants you to feel the struggle and the triumph of humanity's earliest days. With public playtests planned for late 2025 and a full release on PC in 2026, Paleolith is shaping up to be a deeply immersive, punishing, and ultimately rewarding experience for those who want their survival truly hardcore. Okay, let's slam the time machine forward from the Stone Age to a frozen post-apocalyptic future. What if your survival base wasn't static? What if it was a giant, moving fortress on rails? That's the brilliant concept behind Frostrail. I absolutely love this idea. Frostrail combines the base building and resource management of games like The Forest with the on-the-move tension of Snowpiercer. Your home is a massive, steam-powered armored train that you and up to 3 friends must constantly fuel, maintain, and upgrade. This train is your lifeline, chugging through a world frozen over and corrupted by terrifying supernatural creatures. The gameplay loop is fantastic. You ride your train to a new, dangerous location, disembark to explore dungeons and ruins for precious resources, fight off hordes of monsters in intense FPS combat, and then haul your loot back to the train to craft better gear and improve your mobile fortress. It's a compelling mix of defense, exploration, and progression. For co-op survival fans, Frostrail looks like an absolute must-play when it hits Steam Early Access in 2026. Sticking with the theme of intense co-op action, but swapping snow for plague and sook, we have a game that could be the next obsession for the extraction shooter crowd: Hunger. Imagine the high-stakes PvPe of Hunt Showdown and Escape from Tarkov, but set in a plague-ravaged Napoleonic Europe and infused with deep RPG mechanics. That's Hunger. You team up, venture into hostile zones to complete quests and gather resources, all while fighting off both plague-twisted monsters and other player-controlled squads who want your loot. But here is the single most important detail: the potential game changer. The developers are promising long-term progression with no wipes or permadeath. For anyone who has poured hundreds of hours into an extraction game only to have it all erased, you know how massive that is. With over 100 talents, deep crafting professions, and a player-driven economy, Hunger is aiming to blend the thrill of extraction with the satisfying persistence of an MMO. This is one to watch very, very closely when it hits early access in 2026. From Napoleonic grit to atom punk cool, let's look at a game with an aesthetic I can't get enough of. Set in a world where World War II never ended and technology went in a very different direction, we have War Mechanic. This is Fallout meets Scrap Mechanic. The world is filled with advanced robotics, but it's all filtered through a 1950s lens. You're a mercenary sent to a remote island to reopen a military base, which becomes your home to build, defend, and operate from. The core of the game is a mix of open-world action, scavenging, crafting, and base building. You'll be fending off rogue machines, customizing vehicles, and interacting with a cast of quirky characters. Running on Unreal Engine 5 with Lumen for some spectacular lighting, War Mechanic looks to have an incredibly strong and unique art direction. It's a refreshing change of pace from the typical zombie or wilderness survival setting. It's slated for PC first in 2026, and for anyone who loves tinkering, building, and blowing up retro robots, this should be right at the top of your list. Okay everyone, we've survived monsters, dinosaurs, and robots, but are you ready to survive your own followers? This next one is one of the most brilliantly unhinged concepts for a survival game I have ever seen. It's time to start your own doomsday cult in Join Us. You heard that right. This is a satirical, story-rich, open-world cult management simulator. You create your cult from the ground up. You designed its core beliefs, recruit skilled followers like doctors, engineers, or Pig farmers, build your compound and prepare for the apocalypse. It's a management game, a base builder, and an action game all rolled into a darkly comedic package. And the combat looks gloriously insane, inspired by grindhouse cinema, with flamethrowers, weaponized farm equipment, and even Lovecraftian creatures. Better yet, you can spread the good word with up to 4 players in online co-op. This is such a breath of fresh air for the genre, taking the familiar mechanics of survival and base building and wrapping them in a theme that is both hilarious and culturally relevant. I cannot wait to start my own channel-themed cult when this drops for PC in 2026. From a brand new cult to a series with one of the most dedicated cult followings in all of gaming, let's head back to the tunnels. The next Metro game is coming. Developer 4A Games are masters of their craft. No one does atmospheric, story-driven, brutal FPS survival like they do. While we don't have an official title yet, they've confirmed they're targeting 2026 for the next installment and are rebuilding their engine from the ground up. They're aiming to fully harness the power of the PS5 and Xbox Series X, meaning a generational leap in graphics, ray tracing, and immersion. While the soul of Metro will always be its phenomenal single-player campaign, they've also announced they're collaborating with Saber Interactive to explore multiplayer elements. This could mean co-op expeditions into the wasteland or something entirely new. Whatever form it takes, we know it will be dense, terrifying, and beautiful. Prepare to polish your gas mask and count your bullets. Our return to the Metro is on the horizon. And finally, for our last game, let's talk about a concept designed to generate pure, unfiltered panic. What if the world wasn't open, but an ever-changing claustrophobic nightmare? Welcome to Mazebound. Hunt, gather, and run. This is survival horror boiled down to its terrifying essence. Mazebound drops you and your friends into a procedurally generated maze that is different every single time you play. There's no learning the map, no safe spots. The moment you feel comfortable, you're already dead. It introduces some fantastic mechanics to ramp up the tension. Your inventory isn't a magical pocket. It's a physical cart that you have to drag around, making you slow and vulnerable. A willpower mechanic affects your performance, meaning fear itself is a resource to manage. The game's core philosophy is never linger. There are other survivors and other things in the maze with you, and standing still is a death sentence. For fans of high-tension co-op horror, Mazebound looks like it will be an endless source of screams when it arrives in 2026. And there you have it, 10 games, 10 completely different visions for the future of survival. We've seen speed, depth, horror, realism, and pure, unadulterated weirdness. The genre is expanding in every possible direction, and honestly, it has never been a more exciting time to be a fan. But the big question is, which one of these has captured your imagination? Are you ready to outsmart raptors in the Lost Wild? Are you plotting your cult's dogma in Join Us? Or are you preparing for another harrowing journey in the next Metro? Drop a comment below and let me know which game just became your most anticipated title of 2026. If this deep dive got you hyped for the future of gaming, please consider hitting that like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next look at the horizon. A huge thank you for hanging out with me today. Stay safe, stay hyped, and I will see you all in the next video.